Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that nice cap on that. Let's do it. Happy Homebrew Wednesday, guys. How are you? Boy, that's a refreshing beer. Cooper's Lager. 5 and 7. So here we are. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. And first, let's start off with let's see. Let's show. Here we are back down in the dungeon, the brewing dungeon, the Craig Tube dungeon. But let's first of all look at what we're brewing here. This is pretty simple stuff. Here we have. This video is being shot at 24 frames per second, by the way, just in case you wonder if it looks a little bit different than usual. We have a go-to beer I do all the time, Cooper's IPA with some added hops, and the 5 and 7, 500 grams of dry malt extract, 700 grams of dextrose, and it's the way I like it. It's easy, it's cheap, and it's a good beer. So that's about ready to go into a keg. Over here we have an all-grain. This is a Southern Tier IPA, excuse me, and it's in secondary, and it's being, as you can see, it's being dry hopped there. Guys, a little word of advice, if you don't know this already, when you're going to dry hop your beer and you're going to put hops in a bag, throw some sanitized marbles or ball bearings or something in the bag with the hops so that it pulls them down to the bottom. It took me a lot of poking to get those hops underneath the surface of that beer. But they're still floating, but they're under there. So yeah, that's a Southern Tier IPA. I cannot wait to taste that. It's almost ready to package as well. I'm going to put that into a keg too. So good stuff there. Over here, yeah, you're going to see my messy workbench. I'm in the middle of tearing stuff apart right now, so but you'll hear about that in a few minutes. Here we have our this is our Prohibition whiskey kit. I shot a video of me doing this stage of it. I haven't posted the video yet, but I will if I haven't already by the time you've watched this. And here it is. Had to use a 2.5 gallon carboy because my little demijohn jar things up here aren't big enough, and I had nothing else to ferment it in. So I picked up this little 2.5 gallon carboy at Value Village, which is a thrift store. We're doing the t-shirt trick. I know there's a lot of headspace there, but she's bubbling away, so it's all CO2 up there, so there's no problem. Keeping her down around 68 degrees. The fan is back there. The fan's turned off right now so that I can shoot this video because it tends to be a little bit loud. And so that's that. And I'll be posting the video of that. And there's going to be other stages to it. There's still more stuff that has to be added to that as well once it's done fermenting. So that is what is brewing down here in the dungeon. Let's go over there and have a little talk about some things that have been going on in the past week around here. If you happen to be in the 17brewcrew.com forum, you might have saw the post I published just explaining why I hadn't been on the forum a lot lately. I had something on my mind. My wife and I were thinking about moving for reasons which I won't bother getting into. There's nothing bad. It's just that there's a unit coming available that's in a bit of a quieter area. So in the same complex here, but in a quieter spot with a lot of shade, and the unit's in much better condition than ours. It'll have new floors and new tiles and things, and so. But my kids, they were really upset when they found out we were moving out of this house. They've lived here all their lives, pretty much, and they just don't want to move out. They love this house. And for them, there wasn't really anything in it. I mean, they don't care about the floors and the tree or whatever that's outside, or the new kitchen counter or the finished basement. Jeez, they don't care about that. But you know what? These things they're just things. They're just things. Who cares? Sure, I would love to move into a house with a finished basement. It wasn't really finished. It's got walls put up, but that's about it. As you can see, this basement is not finished. It's just a basement. But, you know, new floors and stuff, that's just stuff. The kids' emotions, their feelings were much more important to us than stuff. And so we decided, sort of unofficially have decided not to move. We may view the unit, and if there's something miraculous comes out of that, and you know, it's like, oh my God, look at this, there's a swimming pool in the backyard, then we may just change our mind. When then that's not the case. I know there's not a swimming pool, but you know what I mean. I mean, if something we've seen a unit, kids go, yeah, I really think we should move, and then we move, but that's not going to happen. They want to stay where they are, which is right here in the Craig Tube Dungeon, this basement, and I'm going to show more of it in an upcoming video after I get it sort of tidied up. This basement's where all this started for me. The whole Craig Tube thing. Let me just take a beer here. I know I need a shave. The whole Craig Tube thing started here, and it's been down here. The Justin TV broadcasts are down here. You can sort of see there's, you know, where I sit when I do my broadcasts and whatnot. All the beer that's been brewed down here. I did my first partial extract down here, my first mini mash, my first all grain in this house. And this is the Craig Tube Dungeon. And if we don't move, which I don't think we are, then I guess I can say that I'm glad that I'm staying where it all began, right here in this basement. I do have footage of this basement when it was empty. If I can find that, I might put that on the video. Nothing in it, empty. Got our washer and dryer that we bought off of Fran, the previous tenant. And well, I'm just trying to get a video of the place while it's empty, you know, because eventually once we start moving boxes in, we'll never see it like this again. So I'm just trying to, you know, archive. And it certainly isn't empty now. I'm embarrassed. I won't show much of it. I'll give you a little glimpse of it because I am ripping stuff apart. So I'm going to be it's going to be a lot cleaner than this. Of course, there's my brewing area over there, but it's a disaster right now. But that's just because I'm ripping everything out. When I found out we probably weren't going to be moving, I decided to say, well, you know what? Okay, fine. I'm not going to get the finished basement. But at least what I can do is try and make this place a little more tidy, get rid of some stuff. Got a whole bunch of stuff I'm giving to Value Village. Some stereo equipment and other things. Stuff I can't sell on eBay because it's just too big and too heavy. I don't want to ship it. So yeah, it'll be cleaner and we'll get things sorted out. And then I'll give you a little tour of what it really looks like down here. You know, this little basement has been a home to me for a long time. So. And it's changed over the years. But, so that's that. What else? I get asked a lot what camera I use to film my videos. So this is a Canon Vixia HF-M40 is the model. Right now it's shooting in 24 frames per second progressive at 1920 by 1080. It's a fantastic camera. And if you're looking for a camera and you want to get serious and buy something that's a little higher than just a little iPhone thing, then you might want to consider this particular model because I'm telling you right now, I've been a videographer for 30 years, and although I'd love to buy a $5,000 camera, I can't afford that. And this camera I can't show it to you obviously because I'm using it, but is a fantastic camera. It's rated #1 on camcorderinfo.com in its class. It has ridiculous low light capabilities and a ton of features. The thing does everything. There's even music stored inside the camera in the memory that you can add to your videos after the fact. It's just amazing. It's got a headphone jack, it's got a mic jack, it's got all different shooting modes and manual controls. Trust me, if you're into camcorders, you're into videography, I highly recommend. I did buy it. It's not a freebie. I did buy the camera. I don't get stuff like that from companies. I do buy everything I talk about. But building up my record collection again, you may have seen me talk about this on my JTV live show on Fridays. I I lost a whole bunch of records when I was younger in a basement flood. They were ruined, destroyed. There was no use in trying to revive them. So I've been building up. I lost a Rush Hemispheres red vinyl record, which was my favorite album of all time. It sounded amazing. Didn't have one click on it. And I lost that, so I'm on the prowl for one of those. And there's a couple on eBay, and I'm going to go check downtown and see if maybe some of the record stores down there might have a used copy of it. And there's some other ones, but I got, like, I'm building up quite a decent collection here. These are records that I'm finding that are in excellent condition. I know, good old Kenny Rogers. As a matter of fact, when I go to the thrift store to buy these, you have no idea how many Kenny Rogers records I see. 4 or 5 every time I go. There must have been one of those Columbia House things going on back then. And this must have been one of the free ones that they sent out for people, and people never played them or something, because they're in miraculous condition. They sound amazing. And just flip through here. There's some Rod Stewart, a little bit of Burton Cummings, some Supertramp. I don't know, just there's Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling. No, that's actually that's the one before that, I think. But just stuff that I had before. Foreigner and good old Melanie, Brand New Key. Remember that song? I got a brand new pair of roller skates. The Knack. There's some more Rod Stewart there. Oh, you didn't see that. you didn't see that. There was a blonde girl, a young, 25-year-old sort of, well, to me that's young anyway, blonde girl in the line when I was paying for that album. I looked at her and she was watching me pay for it, the Barry Manilow album, that is. And I looked at her and I said, I know, I'm showing my age. And this pretty blonde girl looks at me and she says, nah, she says, I love Barry Manilow. He's awesome. So I'm like, hey, thank you. That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Foreigner. Hey, Michael Jackson Thriller. You can't go without that. I got to get that cleaned, though. It's not very playable. So, of course, the most important one of all. There you have that. Anyway. So, that's just some of the records I've been collecting, and I'm building on my collection, and bought a new cartridge, a Stanton. I can't remember the model, but it's not a very expensive cartridge. It's a good quality one, though. But it's not your, $500, $1,000 cartridge or anything like that. But, it does the job. It tracks at 1.25 grams, so it's not going to ruin my records. And that's just sort of what's going on here. I mean, haven't got, much else to say. I've been collecting a lot of vintage stereo equipment. I might have shown this before, but I got my this amplifier here, 150 watts, and I'm talking 150 real watts, not the watts they talk about nowadays. But when you look on the back of the unit and it only draws 250 watts from the wall, how can it produce 1,000 watts of power? A watt is a watt. You can't have a 1,000-watt light bulb that only uses 200 watts. Okay? And if you know about Ohm's law, the whole formula, E equals I times R and all that stuff, it's you know that it just doesn't work that way. If it puts out a certain amount of wattage, it has to take in even more because there'd be some loss, So anyway, that's 150 true watts, $20, and it's a Nico. You can look at the model there. You can look that up on YouTube or on Google. This is not a piece of crap. This amplifier is high-end stuff. And so there's the preamp that goes with it on top there. And they both are rack mountable, and this one's got the nice, handles and brushed metal, black metal fronts. I mean, I'm a bit of an audio geek. Cassette deck there. Picked up a TIAC cassette deck for about $15. Works great. Bunch of tapes. Whoops, which are falling all over the place. There's some Maxell tapes, and what else do we have? There's other stuff here which is falling. TDK, I think. Whatever. I think. Yep. So, that's what I'm sort of into around here. I'm going to be ripping all this stuff out of here anyways and rearranging things down here. But yeah, so I think I've exhausted my rant for this week. I really don't know what else to tell you. Let's have ourselves a little break. Oh, my goodness. It's the second most popular beverage in the world next to tea and water. So it's the third most popular, I guess. Okay, let's just say it's the most popular beverage in the world next to tea and water, and that's beer. So don't be ashamed to say that you love this stuff, especially when you can make it yourself and you know what's gone into it, and you know that there's lots of malt in it, not like the crap you buy. And so when we're doing all grain and extracts, we're using a lot more percentage of malt than that. And even with the beer kits, you know, I'm pretty careful with how much dextrose I put in, although I do add dextrose to those because it does boost the alcohol a little bit. You just have to be careful that you don't overdo the dextrose, because then you kind of ruin the beer. You thin it out and it gets that sort of, you know, appley flavor or whatever. So, but I think that's pretty much it for me. Cheers, 17, if you will. We'll see you soon. Be safe out there, and we'll see you very soon. Take care.